Swaziland to work together on the same floor. That's where the unity of Africa will start from. But if you deliberately exclude South Africans, now you are instigating South Africans to attack the foreign nationals. So what we are doing now, we have just called comrades to call more fighters to come here. And then we have called Pretoria to go as well, to go and close Cream in Pretoria. Because the racist attitude is the same. So everywhere where Cream is found must be treated with the same attitude.
Hey man, it's your boy Mr. V. Let's get it, man. Thank you again for watching my videos. Thank you for subscribing, for liking, for sharing. Look man, please hit the notification bell so that you may be notified every single time I put up a video. Anyway, let's get to this one. It's midweek. Thought let's round up a bit, right? On whatever that is of interest. This is me where I give my opinion of whatever that I think was of interest in the current event arena, the news, whatever that may have made news, be it politics, anything really, as long as it's newsworthy in my view, right? Now, there's two things that I wanted to talk about. Two stories that I want to focus on, guys. First one, you know this light sometimes disturbs me, but anyway, it's fine, man. Two stories that I wanted to focus on. EFF, maybe Julius Malema. I don't know what you want to put, but EFF/Julius Malema. Second story, it's Mmusi Maimane. Man, oh man. So for me, right, the two guys are very interesting in their own way. And I suppose that's why sometimes they do get along and sometimes they find themselves going separate ways. But for the most part, I think they do get along in some instances or important instances. So here's what I thought. Here's what I in fact, let me start off by Julius Malema, right? And you know, a couple of weeks back, he had that rally where he said that they were gonna go out to hotels, to all these places that would hire foreigners to go want to understand how many foreigners they have, how many locals they have, and all of that jazz. I saw something on Twitter, I think it was a video on Twitter where he was explaining, saying that they don't want them to not employ foreigners, but they want them to be considerate to locals first, right? And here's the thing about Julius Malema. If you don't listen to him very carefully, you can go with one message and it will take you to wherever you want or he wants you to go. Now you have to listen to him very carefully, because he can say something now and be able to twist it and turn it and explain it in such a way that you had not understood it the first time around. Tell you what I mean, right? When he says these are our brothers, it's right? I mean, we're all Africans after all. But he reads the room. If he's speaking to people who are in the township, his posture supports the anger that they're coming from, and it subliminally says, don't be too angry at these people. Don't be too this at this, and that kind of thing. And I think it's very interesting that he does that, right? Because he knows that he did say it a little bit. Tomorrow he can justify it to say, but I did mention it. And then when he switches up to speak to different people, then he would say, no, but what I meant was, right? At the end of the day, all that he would be trying to fight for would be for everyone to have perhaps the same opportunities or to have certain privileges according to where they are or the geographical area, so to speak, right? And it's very interesting. If you don't listen to it carefully, you might just go this way and then you find yourself going there alone when he had 10, right? Because this is what he then says, no, we're not saying that they shouldn't be employed. but let's consider the locals first. Now, you can justify that in any way. If you're an employer, you can say, you know what, I didn't find anyone, nobody applied, therefore I found these guys, and right? But if you put a rule to say, here we must have 70% of locals and then 30% of foreigners, then you make the level the playground level. Yeah, school English. I'm shooting this thing at night, so my English has depleted. Anyway, so you must be able to say, okay, maybe have this much of locals and this much of foreigners or internationals. That clears the message. But as long as you're not clear, you find yourself in a place where people can use this thing as and when and how they want it to play out for them, right? And that's the mistake that we keep on making. We've never asked them, okay, guys, when you say you want us to consider the locals first, do you have it in percentages? Perhaps put a percentage to say, okay, give us locals this percentage, and then you can then look at the rest for this percentage. That would clear everything up, in my view at least. But as long as you allow him to tell you to come to this forum and say, okay, this is how we want to work out, because he is reading the room and he comes this way and says, this is how we want to work it out, you will always be confused as to what does he stand for. I know they've made it clear to say, look, African brothers are brothers no matter what. We don't see borders and all of that jazz, which is good, which personally I support. I don't want to lie. I think we are all of the same. However, though, I still say our African brothers, when they're in the country, they have to take care of the country as if it was their own country, right? I have seen instances where they don't necessarily care about our infrastructure, but the people there, about the environment, the health, all these things. They don't necessarily care because they know that, okay, at the end of the day, I can always bounce out, right? And this is my opinion and my view, which it may be very wrong. It may be very different from what you have seen or what you've experienced. I accept that. But let me have my opinion as well, right? But when you look at our local brothers, South African brothers, they also can stretch it a little bit too far. Hence, you end up hearing people saying, but South Africans are lazy, and it's not that they're lazy, because when you look at buses, trains that are coming out of the township every single day, they're filled up with people, right? But there are those who are rotten potatoes in the whole thing, right? Because when you go into the townships, you find people who are in street corners, chilling, doing absolutely nothing, and so forth and so forth. But they also have that reasoning to say, there are no jobs. What are we going to do? You know? So you always find yourself having to navigate through such things. I think we always have to be very careful how we strike the whole thing. In as far as criminals go, there are criminals in South Africa, there are criminals who are internationals, there are criminals in anywhere, in any part of the world. You know, they always look to do things that will benefit them, whether it's criminalistic or not, whatever the case. So treat a criminal as a criminal. That's all they are. Whether they're from Nigeria, whether they're from Zimbabwe, whether they're from South Africa, they are criminals at the end of the day. I'm reminded of the guys who escaped from prison, where now it quickly went to xenophobic views now, because 5 of them were Zimbabweans and 1 was South African. You find this mixed views. But I always make an example to people, say, okay, if a Zimbabwean, for an example, buys an ID from Home Affairs, he did not do it on his own. He bought it from a South African. So these 2 people are coming together and they're doing something that is of criminal nature. Don't say, the Zimbabweans buy IDs, but they are buying it from South African. So let's blame those as well, those who are doing the same shindig, right? Anywho, I think that's what we need to look at from a Julius Malema EFF perspective. They may need to give us percentage to say, okay, when they say preference must be given to South Africans, what is that preference in percentage for, right? If they're saying 90%, 10%, 80%, 20%, whatever, then businesses can know, right, that this is what they're promoting or they're proposing, so to speak.
3 restaurants, and we were well satisfied that they are adhering to what we are looking for. The cream has got almost 50-50 type of an arrangement, but other restaurants have got majority being South Africans. We want to make an emphasis, and that's what we said to the owners of the restaurant, that no one should stop employing Zimbabweans here and say the EFF said it doesn't want Zimbabweans. We want Zimbabweans to work here in South Africa. It is their home. They should make no apology about hiring Zimbabweans or any other African brother or sister. But in doing so, they must be well considerate that they are locals who must at all times be given a preference. To be difficult.
It's not
Because
about
we
being
do-
different.
we
No,
can be-
Julius,
we can
I
be
just want to
difficult
understand
as well.
in what capacity
You will
are
understand
you here?
when I'm a member of parliament.
Okay,
That's
have
number
you got
one.
an official sanction from Parliament
I
to
don't
be
need
here?
a sanction to be here.
You don't
When
need
I
a
do
sanction
my
to be here.
oversight, I don't need sanction from anyone.
So you've got
I-
you're here
I-
on official government business.
I'm not government. There's
Okay.
a difference between parliament and government.
So you're here on official
I'm
Parliament
here
business.
as a member of parliament
On
who's
official
doing
parliament
an
business.
official oversight.
Oversight.
Yes,
And
I have
can
a
I
duty
have
to
some
do-
documentation to that?
That's me. You have me. You see the arrogance you are displaying, my man. It's not
It's not
going to
arrogance,
help
it's a
you.
question.
It's not going to help you.
Okay.
You see, I come nice to you, and
Alright.
this is what you are giving
Can I
me.
offer you this letter? It's from my HR department.
No.
I have no capacity to give you any answers. So I can
No,
give you a
but
letter
let's
from
go have a
HR.
meeting as agreed yesterday.
Okay,
You see,
so
these people who are saying to you, give him a letter, give him what.
yeah.
They will not help you with
Look,
anything.
Julius, I'm not a politician. I'm an employee of this business.
Yeah.
I can give you a letter, or I can, that's really the best that I can
No,
do.
let's go have a peaceful discussion. It's two South Africans wanting a conversation.
Yeah,
There's no one who's fighting anyone here.
yeah.
But once you create an environment of attitude, then it's not going to be nice for all of us, especially for you when you do business.
Okay. I will come back to you on that.
And look at me. I've come here with very few, not all these people are going to meet you.
Yeah.
I come here with very few people to show that.
Who wants to meet? First of all.
No,
You-
we're here. I'll
who's
introduce
we?
them.
Who wants to come into the restaurant?
No, we're here. I'll introduce them.
So
when
it's gonna
we
be
meet
just you.
No, it's not only me. I've got a delegation. I'll introduce it when one.
No, we're not gonna meet with the delegation, Julius. I'm sorry, I can't.
Then the
I'll
restaurant,
go. I'll
then
speak
the
to.
restaurant won't open.
I'll go speak to the management.
Then
and I'll let
the
you-
restaurant won't open because we have appointment with you. I'm going to stand at the door
There
of
is
the
no
restaurant.
appointment. You have no appointment with me.
No, I've got a,
You have not come to me for an
No,
appointment.
I'm coming to the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is no official
You see, the
appointment
problem
that
with
we set
white arrogance is what you are doing.
up. Come on.
Yeah, you are
I'm not
just,
here- I'm
you
not here
know,
to play
you are
politics.
displaying a white arrogance.
No, I'm not playing. No,
Here
no,
is
no,
a person
that's
who
not
says,
politics.
I confirmed and
Anyway, moving right along from that story, right? The guy who, for me, this guy, ever since he's unemployed, my guy, he has been on a no holds bar thing. I don't know what to call it, but he has been shooting everywhere he goes, man. I mean, I saw him a couple of weeks back. He had that thing with, what's the guy who now, the DJ? I forgot his name, Shimza. Yes, he had it with Shimza. He knocked him out, a KO, a proper KO, where for some reason I think that guy was mopped the floor with. In my view, at least. In my view, at least, I think they mopped the floor with his behind, and he did it proper, right? And I can tell you, for me, the Mmusi Maimane that was in the DA and this one are two completely different people. I'm loving this guy, this new guy. My man, keep at it. Keep doing what you're doing because we love it. Well, I love it. I don't know about y'all, but you can go into the comments and tell me what you say. While we're on it, please subscribe, like, share, notification bell. Then we're good, man. Then we're good. You're not missing anything, at least. But anyway, so this guy, he was done with Shimza. He moved on. I saw him, I think it was 2 weeks back or a week or so back. He was at it with the schools now, with the education department and all of that. He was clapping left, right, and center. Hey, my man, this guy is doing his thing. He is coming up. He is showing up. He is showing off. As if that was not enough, I saw he had it with this one Twitter, I don't know whether I should say guy but a Twitter account, right? Where they said, oh, since he was unemployed and so forth and so forth. And I don't like that particularly because, like sometimes certain messages are missed in us trying to be funny, and we miss an opportunity to grow and to build ourselves, right? You can't say he's unemployed when he's got organizations that he's running. He's no longer an employee kind of person, that guy, right? You cannot call him to come and say, hey, come and be our director, CEO, or whatever the case. He is at that level where he establishes things, right? And you have to get that correct. And I think it was a teachable moment for me when I looked at how Mmusi Maimane responded. I thought it was proper that he responded in an educative way, but also not, he still had those I almost said K club, but yeah, he had the the backhand club, he still had them, and he was showing off and showing up in that sense, right? I noticed there was where he responded with that Twitter account responded to say, hey, we're employed, we're at work, so we can't read all this and that. And then it's like, you're running 3 Twitter accounts, but you can't even read this thing. Maybe just go and do what you do best, which is gossiping. And that was a clap back of note because, what can you do if you are a Twitter account that does that? Unfortunately, you just have to go back and do what you've been doing. Hey, whatever that you've been doing, just carry on with it. But I am liking the Mmusi Maimane that we're getting to experience because it's brutal in that manner, all in the name of trying to grow South Africa, so to speak, right? He's looking out for the youth of South Africa. All the things that he does, they are educative in that sense, where you get to see him showing the caring side of him for the South African youth, so to speak. And I'm loving every moment of that part. So, guys, I haven't caught up to a lot of news, but for me, those stories, they really, I liked what I was seeing in that. I was interested in at least analyzing those for me. I don't know if you have any other stories that I think maybe I missed or I should respond to or I should react to in whatever way. Please, man, hit the comments. Let me know. I'm human. I might miss something, and maybe it was of interest or it's of interest to people. Then I can go and check it out, and then we can take it from there. But as for me and now, I gotta bounce. I gotta get out of here. And it's all love, man. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, hit the notification bell. You want to be notified when I put up these videos. Anywho, I love you. I love you.